The other industries have had beef. They just didn't put it on the record. They have popularized our dysfunction and disdain. There's also no other genre of music that will consistently denigrate their own women. There's no other genre of music that is promoting violence at the level, that is controlled by record companies that don't look like us. The whole, this is maybe before your time, self-destruction. Public Enemy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they wouldn't give them a record deal. Conscious rap can't get airplay. Can't get airplay. Kendrick Lamar didn't come out last year. It is only the beef that made it become popular. You got to understand, a beef song got you to the Super Bowl. Now, come on, Kendrick. Listen to me. Come on, Cam. You listen to music.
Yes, sir.
What is the albums that went platinum?
And that was Pastor.
He has kind of a point at the end.
In some of them.
There's always been diss tracks that just haven't been hip
playing
hop.
Kendrick.
Cry Me a River is a perfect example
That's
of a
not
diss
a-
track. Yes, it is. That was a diss track to Britney Spears.
The Britney it was.
Yes, it was. It was a diss track.
Man, you got plenty. I got names right here
Like
who had
it's we just look at it because it's hip hop. You know, it's
anything black. Anything black is gonna be magnetized 3 times as much. But it's beefs in all types of music. I got a list of people who had beef. You had J-Lo and Mariah. You had Mariah and Eminem. You had Britney versus Christina Aguilera. Pink versus Jessica Simpson.
I say Pink. I do.
And you had
Yeah.
you got the Dixie Chicks against the Republican the Republican Party and Bush.
They say Holla Back Girl was a diss track.
Muddy. Oh, if we want to go jazz, we got Muddy Waters against Howard Wolf.
So
Teddy P and Frankly Beverly against Marvin Gaye.
So I'm not
Bobby
gonna sit here.
Womack. Bobby Womack.
Wait. Were these diss songs or was this just behind the scenes beat?
That Bobby
No,
Womack was a diss song.
they made this song.
Bobby Womack
Everybody
track
I
was a
just
diss song.
named, everybody I just named, they had beef and they made diss songs.
Yeah. So it's hip hop because, like you say, it's black men going at it. But nah, other genres have had beef and diss tracks.
I mean, other
James
point.
Brown shot up a whole club over his beef with Joe Tex.
Listen, man, Bobby.
Isleys.
I heard. Listen, I stories about. They said Bobby Womack was a menace.
Oh yeah, he was a monster.
You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, and they put it,
He was in the street.
and they put it on the wax. They put it on the wax.
So I in a way, I understand what he's saying, especially at the end, because on those beat tracks, they're not denigrating women and stuff
And
like that.
that's where he has
That's
a
where
point.
our thing is.
Well, my thing was this. He hit the nail on the head towards the end when he took the blame from black people and shifted it to the white people in power.
It's the people who control
distribute this music. So that was the one thing I was looking for. It's one thing for us to rap and make violent music. It's another, how does this music
How does it get promoted and pushed? And why is that the only music getting promoted and pushed?
And that's where they get the most money.
But they
towards.
understand that controversy sells. So I know that if these two huge artists
Outside
are
of that,
we're getting ready to make some money.
No, you can make money doing conscious. The problem is you don't want to.
You don't want that message.
You don't want that
In the
message
masses.
to come out, because if you're able to control the masses of what they listen to, right? What's popularized? We just said right here, hip hop. We got hip hop in all ranges, but what's more popular? Niggas talking about shooting, drugs, you know what I'm saying?
Imagine if you had a whole crew still, like just crews of poor righteous teachers, brand newbies,
Arrested Development,
or dead presidents.
Oh yeah, all of them.
Imagine
The whole
a country full of dead presidents.
To see, the thing about it is, you help. They don't want to be responsible of helping keeping a race together. See, that's another form of dividing the race, because now what they pumping, the gangs done got into it. You feel what I'm saying? You can tell by certain artists whether they blood or crip, and they bang and they saying that shit loud as hell.
I just want to do like a quick reverse real quick, just so and we get back to what we were talking about. But Is thug music really going to hit like that anymore?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's going. Look,
He
it's
was
going to
already,
hit even
he was
harder.
already on featuring some
But that's
people's
why-
songs
but-
over the
but-
summer.
no, what I'm asking,
And he's another future nigga. 'Cause you don't understand
What I'm
everything he
asking-
said.
What
That
I'm
shit is-
asking, no, the reason why I'm saying this is because what's the content going to be about now? Because you can't rap about what you were rapping
Why
about.
can't he?
before.
Why can't he?
Why can't
No,
he?
he can't.
You can't rap
Is that
about
in
what
his,
you were
That's part
rapping
of
about before.
that's part of his probation. He cannot
See what I'm
rap
saying?
about.
There's
he cannot
things-
rap about gang
So that's
shit.
what I'm saying. Is his music going to hold?
But hold on,
the
what do they
same-
consider gang? though? What do they consider gang? That's what.
Look,
different.
exactly what
As far,
Buddha was saying.
I'm too much of an MC to sit here and be like, yo,
How much
It can't be. You can't be talking about
How
no
much of his
sign.
music is gonna
You can't
change?
be talking about no sliming.
This music
None
is
of
going
that
to
shit.
change.
If that
Huh?
is
How
him
much
and
of
his
his music
lifestyle,
is
how,
gonna
It's going to change.
but how? Change how?
If you listen to some of the features he been on over the summer, the artists that he was with, it wasn't talking about no violence. It wasn't talking about none of that what we're talking about right now. So he already
his core, all this shit he going through right now, he can rap about all this shit that just happened.
Content. Thug's content was a lot of what made him.
Of course.
Now,
His content was just like high price and
point,
drugs.
Right. The point is the record label was already knee deep with him. You don't think they had a lot of money invested in him.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right. And
all I was bringing up was how much his music
it's going
is
to change.
going to change.
I'm gonna tell you why it's going to change, because they made sure that money kept going to them lawyers,
Yep.
and that's the reason why his ass home. You feel what I'm saying? So his probation is set. This is what he got to do. So they have to assist that and make sure, because their investment have to stay out.
So I didn't want to, I just wanted to ask about, like, it's going to be some change in his music.
Yeah.
We
Talk
all know
about how
that.
when he stepped out, found the female, took her to the room, did whatever he did, collected the check. You can talk about all that. Everybody listen to us.
I mean, you got to be a pathetic artist to not be able to rap if you can't talk about gang shit.
Right.
I mean, that's true, but that was like a lot of the people to Thug, though.
Right.
Like,
So-
let's be
Okay, rap
honest.
about something else.
See, I don't really think he was spitting on the game like that. See, and that's the thing. Like when, and oh my god, I can't believe I'm out here caping for.
He didn't.
I
do
can't
it.
believe I'm out here caping for Thugger, yo. This is hilarious.
I mean, but
Right.
look,
I mean,
You're caping for a black man in the penal system.
right. I mean, in this case, like I said, he already dropped tidbits over the summer, being on other people's music and stuff, of which you can possibly see how he's gonna come. You feel what I'm saying? Just listen to Gunna. Anything Gunna music that he done dropped out, did he talk about anything gang?
Well,
What?
they say his probation, he can't talk about that. They say Gunna couldn't.
Say what? Right, but what I'm saying is, if you listen to Gunna's album that he dropped out over the couple months ago, and any music they dropped, it's not talk about no game, nothing. Cause I got a couple of songs on
it's
my
probably still that
my
high
playlist.
price. That's
Right.
all it is, drugs. Like that. I don't understand why people all of a sudden acting like, oh my god, he can't say nothing about gang. He wasn't really talking about gang shit. High price and bitch.
He have references of talking about the life. When you talking about sliming and because they was bringing out those code words in the trial. So any reference of
See,
slime
the thing about hip hop, what I love,
any,
the thing I love about it, you can't make a word in hip hop stay the same, have the same meaning forever
you
anyway.
right.
you right, because Dub changed.
You right.
a couple
Like,
of
but the
times.
que-
Now you
but
got lawyers
you
in here
right.
saying cap and
Dub has changed a
Right.
couple of times. Huh?
Change what?
A dub has changed. A dub used to be a win. Now a dub means a loss, or a
Or
dub
20.
would be
Or 20.
Like, it's a lot
Or
of.
dub, it could be over. It's a dub.
Or you dub.
Yeah,
Like, it's so
dub.
many ways
Dub,
to go with
copy.
dub.
You know what I mean?
But you already know when we talking about the federal government.
But I'm just saying
they
in
gonna
general.
put that's semi close to you, and all they gotta get a few. Hey, he said that. This is what it means.
You right.
You know.
Right.
So
But
again,
then you can be like, no, it don't. This is what it means. Sorry,
it don't
there.
matter when it comes to conspiracy charges, whether state or federal, especially federal. That comes about because
This nigga
niggas,
gonna have his proper. He's gonna get him
multiple
violated.
niggas talking. They get to cooperate to saying that this is what it means. We
Yeah.
gotta skip. We can't skip over. It's like we are when they talking about black women, we hit that heavy because if you look at every other country, only time you're gonna hear them talk about their women is when
Is
they
they
get it
left.
wrong.
denigrate.
They're not going to denigrate. They're not saying
call
that. They're not doing that.
They're not doing that.
No other music does that. So he has a point on that.
Dots, like they're not
we
doing
hit
that.
it hard on that. You feel what I'm saying? And then when you got,
else about love.
and then when you talk about when you got,
But wouldn't that also fall on the consumer too, though?
but again, you pumping you. This is the reason why conscious rap can't get on the scene, because they pumping that's simplistic, and it's not building.
And at
That's
the same
why-
time, you got them female rappers agreeing with what they say.
Exactly. So now that female
The
rappers
consumer,
coming in,
the consumer.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
you were
but
saying,
so-
this is what the consumer wants to hear.
This is more on the consumer
Yeah,
now
The
than anything.
consumer wants to
I
hear
don't
this.
think no. If you are openly
Especially with the internet.
if you are openly suppressing quality music, because that's what they're doing. They openly suppressing quality music. They rather dump millions of dollars towards an artist who's talking about drugs, gang, and versus unity and going to college.
But
they don't want that.
It's the same thing with female rappers
Yes, but what
are just as bad, if
Right.
not
So
worse.
So they done morph. They done morph because before. Wait a
And
minute.
but what I'm saying,
Before-
is
before-
about unity no
is
more.
a lot of the consumer doesn't want to hear that now.
No, that's not what it is. What I'm saying again, how can you hear it when you're not giving the?
Because
If,
you wouldn't be buying this
if,
other
if
stuff.
I'm gonna give you 50,000 versus I'm gonna give you $1 million, the budget is vastly. A nigga getting 50,000, you gotta hit a home run on this shit. Whereas $1 million, you got way more leg room. They openly suppressing it.
What
So
I'm saying is the consumer, the younger generation.
that's all you can hear though.
But
You don't have a choice.
So that's why they're flocking to it. The positive messages that do come out, they don't really pay that no attention.
Because
like
they're
that.
not promoting it.
It's more negative than positive.
They're promoting negative shit more versus positive
See,
shit.
the whole thing is, and like I said, it all go. I hear you, but it's still gonna go back to the consumer,
How can
because
it
but the main reason.
Bro, when we came up,
I'm gonna tell you how.
came
I'm gonna
up in
tell
the
you
game,
how.
we had both.
I'm gonna tell you how.
We had both. We had
You wanna know
conscious
how?
rap, and we had the gun shoot 'em
You
up.
wanna know how?
Hoochie Mama rap.
You want to know how? Like everybody else said, and you said the other week, the internet has made everything accessible.
That's true.
Whether whoever is promoting it, however, whatever channels they use, the internet has made everything for everybody
Because
accessible.
what they doing, they're following how they can get that money. They looking at some of the top artists and what they're putting out there, and the music that's putting out there, and what the record labels want. That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
what I'm saying is, it's not. There's no artist. Like, okay,
I know what you're
I'm
saying. No. Remember, I know what you're saying. I'm just like, fuck the label, fuck the corporation, and that's why I'm saying this does come back
What's
to the
the name of the group?
consumer.
Contra,
Culture Consta or something like that.
Contra something. They're dope. They're super dope. But they don't get no love like that.
Thank you. So what
But
I was about to get,
they
ask
don't
you.
get love like that is because that generation doesn't really like. We feel that. We understand that. But this new generation,
It goes back to what I just carefully said not too long ago. When we came up, we had an option. We had conscious rap, we had the Hoochie Mama rap, and we had the bang bang shoot 'em up, get drug, get money. We had all three.
You still have options.
No, you don't,
Yeah, you
because
do.
what conscious rap group you hear about now? Back then,
It
we
might not be a group. It might be a
but
person. We got J. Cole, he's
back then, you was able to hit. Back then,
conscious.
you can name five. Name me
Let
two
me-
groups
let me
now.
swing-
There's no groups no
But
more.
let
It's
Name me two
individual
people now that's hot right
But
now.
let me-
Conscious rap.
Here,
I'll wait.
I'm gonna do a quick swing back. Remember when you were talking about earlier with the homecoming, how the generation has changed. You said that okay, when we were coming up, we had common sense. You know, we knew how to go out to certain events and stuff like that. We knew what to wear where we went somewhere.
That's
stuff
because
like that.
that's because our parents said that. Because there was still people out there that was doing that.
Outside of that, what's the thing we had commonly said? The internet. So if the internet is pushing dumb, because the algorithm, see the same algorithm that we get. Them white folks don't get that same algorithm. Them Asian folks don't get the same algorithm. They're not pushing to them. They're pushing dumb our group. TikTok proved that shit. They'll push ratchet sexual themes to the black community, but they push educational things to Asian community. The white community get various things. So the algorithm of what the internet pushes you, if you getting that as a consumer, and if you don't know how to decipher between A and B, and then if you stuck on A and that's what the internet is showing, yeah, you're gonna eat that.
Ain't that determined on what you click though?
Yeah.
Ain't that determined on what you click?
Exactly.
Say what?
Then the algorithm that goes off of the things that you expose yourself to already. So it's trying to
exactly.
The stuff you look at, the stuff you Google,
So
the
they
stuff
keep
you
it-
yeah.
they keep the
They
So
just keep it
again,
around.
if the megaphone, if your parents is not reeling you in and make sure that internet doesn't control what was being said. We do know it's a fact that a lot of these kids, the mama and daddy just gave them the iPad or whatever, and you look at whatever's on YouTube. You looking at YouTube, you're not listen. It's going back. He said the consumer is eating it up.
But
If you don't have listen, bro, we had choices when we
But
came
you're
up.
not giving us a chance to tell you
But we
why.
also
Because
didn't have the internet
here's
like we do
but
now
this is
growing
the other thing, though. I had friends. So my friends are listening to the same stuff I'm listening to.
Mm-hmm.
We're influenced. We're all influenced. It's not me making. It's 4 or 5 other guys. We're
the
all.
consumer.
It's the consumer. So once 3 of us 5, once 2 or 3 of them be like, you know what, I'm gonna go start checking out this other side of music and stuff like that. Well, we've got a couple more people, so we're going to keep kicking it to them. But it always comes down to consumer.
So
at
what
the
the thing about us versus the younger generation, a lot of dumbed down is being portrayed to them. Versus us, we had a lot of quality ass teaching moments, whether it was in music, whether it was on TV shows. We had a whole slew of TV shows that was conscious moving, Living Color, Living Single.
That was the time.
Right. So that now they don't promote that shit. So the consumer,
It's different.
it's because it's done intentionally.
I'm not saying it. It's to me. It's because they just don't feel that music anymore.
How when all the major
You're
records,
saying how
all
because
the
it's
major-
not the same to
It's
them.
different
Bruh,
It's just like
generation.
it's generation.
I'm
I
telling
wasn't
you,
feeling my
I
parents'
just
music
gave you,
like
I
that.
gave you a clear cut. What's the difference is outside the internet. I just gave you a clear cut. They are openly suppressing conscious rap. They don't want that to be played. They want stupid, dumbed down shit played because why? That keeps ignorance amongst us because they don't. If you listen to the white radio stations,
They
don't
be playing
play-
some of that whack. They be playing some of this
They
stuff
damn
too.
sure
They
do.
like before
They-
you do
They
that.
damn
They
sure
okay,
do.
bruh. They only the ones that they play is the songs that's able to cross over. They will play that on a white station. If you listen to a lot of white radio stations, you ain't listening to no music talking about kill that, run up in his spot, sell this drugs. You're not even listening to that shit. You're listening.
I'ma say
You're
this.
listening to either happy or sad music.
I'm gonna say this
That's it.
because I work with this younger generation, and you be surprised at
Listen
how
to.
much
I
this
feel you.
generation of white kids is different.
Say what?
This generation of white kids is different. Trust me, these white kids know hip hop.
I
They
didn't
know.
say,
They
I didn't
know
say
this
they
version
didn't
of
know
hip-
that,
The
bro.
problem is,
I didn't say they didn't know.
this is the problem. I always say the problem is these rappers, these new age rappers, don't learn the history of hip hop.
I give you,
don't
I
give a
give you
damn.
facts on that.
It's not they don't learn. They don't give a damn.
And with other genres
And how
of
they
music,
don't care.
With other genres of music, they
How
studied
they
it.
don't care. They just call
They
you
don't
old
care.
niggas.
They just
Right.
because I
You
can
ain't paid
rap,
no
I
ways
rap.
for them to know. You ain't do nothing for them. As far as if it's not done for them specifically or personally, you haven't done paved the way for them to do nothing. So just get the way old niggas.
Anybody can rap, and that's another thing. They're quick to call you an old. They'll
Yeah.
call you an. They'll call you an old quick and tell you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, we all know based off the success rate, a lot of them don't make it. So you can't. You can say what the you want, but facts and history is always going to be
That's the
there.
consumer.
It's always going to be there. The fact of the matter is, you have record labels who are putting millions of dollars to play dumbed down to our community. Let's call it like it is. That's why Young Thug is out. Only difference is his probation is forcing him to where he can't make that. So that was the only monkey in the wrench in that. His probation, based off his probation condition, forcing the record company to make sure that he plays something different. But you can anybody here name me 2 people, conscious rap, positive rap, that's hot?
Earth Gang's hot. That's positive rap, conscious rap.
Define hot. Are we talking selling or creatively?
Say what?
Are we talking like sales wise or are we talking creatively?
Sales wise.
Sales wise, Kendrick Lamar. He's a conscious rapper.
He's pretty conscious.
J. Cole's
Exactly.
a conscious rapper.
J. Cole's a conscious.
And
We know that.
Talib Kweli just dropped that.
But
Yeah.
Too conscious.
Very.
now, but J. Cole has made music in reference of selling drugs.
Every artist.
Every
is
artist.
Right, so that's what I'm saying though. But
But it's just
majority,
more positive
but
than
majority
Is he
his
glorifying
We'll
it?
talk
Right,
about
but
how he
majority
sold
his-
drugs
but
and came
majority-
out of
but
it.
majority
That's
his-
the difference.
but majority of his catalog is positive.
Okay.
It took the pastor just said it took the beef for him to
To
Kendrick.
the Super Bowl.
exactly to get to the Super Bowl.
I think
He wasn't even listening to Kendrick like that.
I know I wasn't.
Kendrick
And you know, a lot
has
of people
been
will listen to
highly
that
touted.
I know that. I've been.
Easily.
You're not telling me. I've been
Easily.
saying this.
But
Talking
he
about
is
that shit don't get
one
no
of the
play.
one of the most dopest.
I said, what was it going to get no play?
You said he wasn't getting no play.
Because
I said he's the only rapper that got a Nobel
I said
Peace
he
Prize.
wasn't going to get no
Nobel
play
Peace
until
Prize
he dropped.
with rap.
He dropped a hot track. It was all
He
about
had plenty
track.
of hot tracks.
But in order to win a battle versus Drake, he had to
something new.
drop a hot track with a hot beat. Mustard gave him the beat.
He
dropped a hot track.
But you're right. But Kendrick has classic albums. That's the whole thing.
This is the other thing. It's vibe music too.
Yeah.
All we want to do is get turned,
Right.
lit. You see what I'm saying? You
Okay.
can't get turned.
But if you want to
lit to
chill and
Kendrick
relax,
like that.
don't
You can't got me.
like
If you
something
listen to
up.
Yes, you can.
yes,
Huh.
that is going where the money's at, and the money is at is repping the game, but live the lifestyle. Why you think Lil Durk? That's the image. That's the dumbed down version of the hip hop that these young bucks is learning now. When we came up in the
It's
game,
not from Bobby
when we
Shmurda.
came up in the game,
But that's
we
why I said
had levels to the bruh.
they didn't take the time to learn
You're
hip
right.
hop.
And then on top of that, guess what? The record industries, they
Don't care.
openly suppressing conscious rap.